Hey, what's up? Uh, I'm just gonna talk for a little while. If you want to listen, cool. If you don't, cool. Um, just feel like I gotta vent to something. Uh, and I kind of like I've been told a lot in the last couple weeks. If like it, well, I have a right to say what I want to say. No, it's not that type of video, but yeah, I kind of broke one of my own rules that I made for myself a little while back. Um, yeah, I don't know if everybody who watches this or if anybody does watch it. I don't know if you know, but I was doing a podcast for a while, and I found myself getting tied up in current issues, and yeah, I kind of made a rule to myself that I was gonna stay away from that, which was necessary, even though it sucked, right? Because I'm very passionate about a lot of the things going on right now, um, but it's not good for me. Um, for a lot of reasons I don't want to go into right now. Uh, I've gone through a lot of therapy, in the last 4 years that have kind of taught me how to kind of reflect on myself, to try to stop myself from going down and getting to a place that I don't want to be at ever again in my life. And yeah, so it was the podcast was a very very therapeutical thing for me. Um, it didn't get a whole bunch of listens or a lot of plays or anything, but it was good for me as a person. And I told myself I want to do it again and get back to that. But it's kind of like people who say they want to eat better. Like the desire is there, but the motivation's not. So I haven't really done it, and but when I was doing it, I noticed that I was getting extremely edgy, I guess you could say, in regards to social issues. And I told myself I was going to stay away from it. And I was like, this isn't good for me. I'm going to do my best to stay away from it. Even though it's something that I like, that I enjoy, it's a pointless endeavor for me. At least I feel like it has. I feel like it has potential to not be pointless, but ultimately I think it ends up being pointless. And I kind of broke that rule that I made to myself. And if there, I definitely don't owe anybody watching this an apology. But I feel like I should apologize, even though I don't owe anybody one. It's a weird dynamic of the wiring in my brain, apparently. But so for that I apologize, because if there's one thing I try to make sure that I don't do, it's make people feel like they have to agree with my ideologies, right? Um, and I don't feel like I've been doing a very good job of that. So as I reflect on this more, I'm trying to understand, how I let myself get back to that. And, the reason I'm making a video about it is probably an arrogant thing or whatever, but I feel like maybe this resonates with somebody and they they might benefit in some way, shape, or form from what I have to say. Or, people might just be like, quit your bitching, Chris, shut up. Either way is fine. But if you're gonna watch the whole thing, then thank you for sticking around. But I'm trying to reflect on it and get an understanding for myself, right? Of how I ended up kind of falling down that trap again, that rabbit hole of feeling like I can go out and make a difference, feeling like I can sway people's opinions, and I've kind of boiled it down to this, right? And it's there's going to be a lot of back and forth on this, so I apologize. Just bear with me, all right, if you're watching this still. But I've tried to make it a point not to let my time in the military define me, right? I was talking with when my grandmother passed. I was talking with my uncle, and he did his time, and he ended up retiring, and we were kind of talking about like some of the things that we go through, and he said something to me. He said a lot of people let that chunk of time define who they are, and that's all that they are, and they don't ever see themselves as anything else. And I'm probably not getting this word for word, but and that stuck with me, man. And it was like, arguably, at this point in my life right now, because it was, I say recent, but it's been 3.5 years since I technically officially got out. It's still relatively fresh, and so I try not to let it define me. But at this point in my life, it really is the best thing I've done for myself, right? At this point in my life, I feel like there's a lot more that I can still accomplish. There's leaps and bounds that I can excel from, but at the current point in time, it's the most recent, right? So even though I try to not let it define who I am, it's still a core element of who I am at the moment, right? And but I try not to let it, and at times it does. And I remember hearing a lot of people say things like, "Oh, yeah, there's nothing out there. You have you're 12 Bravo, no transferable skills." And my personal experience has been that's bullshit. But again, that's my personal experience. I've done very well for myself since I've got out. It's just a different kind of success, right? Like the fulfillment's not there. That doesn't mean that I'm suffering or that I'm doing bad, but I'm lacking the fulfillment, right? And so for those reasons, like, well, that and some other reasons, it's fucking hard, man. It's fucking hard, and it's not hard because like work's hard or any of that bullshit, right? It's hard because I have a very hard time clicking with people, man. And it's like I can have the mundane, generic day-to-day bullshit conversations with people, right? The face that we put on it, and I feel like there's probably some people who might watch this that know what face I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That face we put on when we deal with people. But nothing that we fucking say has any real substance, right? It's just generic conversation that we have, and we put on that fake fucking smile, and then as soon as everybody's gone, man, it's straight faced back to your world, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being ignorant and assuming that other people feel that way, but that's the reality that for me at least. I would like to think, well, let me rephrase that, because I don't want anybody to feel that way, right? But for lack of a better phrase, I would like to think I'm not the only person who feels that way. I don't want anybody to feel that way, but I don't think that I am the only one who does. And it's weird, man. And maybe it's on me because I came back to a place that I thought I knew, right? Like I came back to what was normal to me, thinking I understood, thinking that not necessarily that it hadn't changed, but that it would be what I thought it was. And there was several factors in the reason why we came back to where we are, but maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have gone off and just started fresh somewhere where I didn't know anything, where I didn't know anybody, and I wouldn't have had any expectations of being able to get along with people that I felt like I would have something in common with. But the reality is that I don't. And trying to find that, it's very, very difficult for me because I don't view the world in the same manner in which a lot of people view the world. And it's not their fault. They're not wrong because of that. They chose their path. I chose my path, and it's not their fault that they have a different view of the world, right? I mean, I shouldn't expect them to have a different view of the world, even though I could sit there and I can be like, oh, you don't know the half of it. You don't know what the fuck a world's like out there, right? Stop being ungrateful. Stop doing this, blah, blah, blah. I can say all those things, right? But at the end of the day, it really, how the fuck can I expect them to? Why should I expect them to? Right? And it's just fucking weird, man. It's hard. Like, it is hard for me. Maybe there's certain people out there and it's just not hard for them, and honest to God, I hope that's the truth, but I feel like that's why I ended up back down that rat hole, because I really truly feel like the only reason I even pay attention to it is so that I feel like like I'm a part of something. You know what I mean? But the truth of it is that it's not anything I can truly be a part of. At least not in the context that I've been participating in it. It's just weird, man. I'm in a weird place right now. And again, just trying to figure out why I let myself get to that point. It's fucking weird, man. I've met a lot of really good people, great people. But it's like that whatever that is, that thing that I need to be able to fucking connect with people, it's like it's missing. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how hard I fucking try, man, like I'm missing it. Whatever the fuck it is, I can't put my finger on it, but because I don't know, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's not fucking registering. You know what I mean? And it's the weirdest thing, man. I've got a lot of great people around me. A lot of great people. I've had success. I got a house. For fuck's sake, I have 4 cars that run and one that's a parts car. So technically I have 5 cars, but 4 of them run just fine, perfectly fine. I've had good paying jobs. My kids are doing great. Like, I have nothing but success. And it's like, it's still weird that whatever it is, I'm fucking missing it, man. It's like being in this crowded room, but nobody can hear you or see you. It's weird. I think all the shit going on in the last couple weeks, I played too much into it. I definitely did. And I kind of got wrapped up in it for a second. And I kind of feel like it's because I'm in this weird spot. I'm surrounded by in my mind, I'm surrounded by two types of people, right? And one side is like, you know, it's this is the only way that we can help humanity, and we can be a better group of people, and we can prevail. And the other side's like, no, this is the only way that we can help humanity, and this is the only way that we can prevail. And I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle of those two, because whether I want to be a part of it or not, the reality is that given the circumstances of the last couple of weeks, a lot of people are talking about it, right? And sure, you can make the argument that it's just the people that I'm around, but if that's the case, then the people that I'm around are talking about it, and it's affecting me, right? And it's like, on one side, I have people that want to kind of condemn some of the things that I hold true to, right? And then on the other side, I got this group of people that feels like I should feel exactly like they fucking do, because I come from this area and I did serve in the military, so I should have the exact same point of view as them. And on some things, sure, I do, but overall, I don't. So it's like this weird middle ground. And when I tie that into the part where I'm like, hey, I can't find that, whatever it is, I think I just got caught up in it, man. I really do. And not a fan of it. Not a fan of it at all. All I can do is speak from my own experiences. And I'm going to try to make these last few things the last things that I really publicly mention about, in terms of race issues in this country. I can only speak of my own personal experiences, and that is that a majority of the people that are the biggest influences in my foundation are people of color. And I would follow those people into the depths of hell to fight the devil himself without even second guessing it. And if they called me right now, I would start my truck and I would be on the road if they needed me. And I feel like they would do the same. And I'm going to leave it at that. As far as, where all these changes that are maybe going to happen, are going to happen, have happened in terms of politics. One thing that I did learn and kind of forgot that I had learned in the military was the change is inevitable, right? You're always going to have a change of leadership at some point. And sometimes what you thought was dumb, irritating, or just blatantly fucking stupid, sometimes you were right. But a lot of times, you didn't realize what the purpose was until after those people were gone. You know what I mean? I remember very vividly the distinct differences between leaderships that I had. And I'm not, I'm friends with a lot of them. I'm not going to put their names out there and put them on blast. But, I had a squad leader on my first deployment. And calling a spade, you would hear people who didn't necessarily like his his tactics, right? But you know, one thing that I learned from that guy that has stuck with me is that you've got to put your best interests behind those of the people underneath you, and that you can only control your circle. Now, I'm not saying that he did everything right, and I'm not saying that you know, on a statistical level, he was the pinnacle of all leadership, right? But I can tell you without a doubt that I feel that that's what he did. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I knew without a doubt that that dude was not going to leave me high and dry. And that stuck with me, man. You know, that has really fucking stuck with me. You know, I had a leader that truly wanted to know everybody underneath him. And probably to the point where it was borderline fraternization, right? And a lot of people didn't agree with that. At the end of the day, after he was gone, and this isn't to bash the person that came in after him by any means, but after he was gone, you realized how much you valued the fact that somebody in a position above you wanted to know who you are on a more than a work related venue, right? And again, I mean, it's not to say that that person was the pinnacle statistically or whatever, right? You know, and the guy who came in after him, he, you know, a lot of the things that he had us doing, because I was a young NCO at the time. A lot of things he had us doing, I was, fuck, man, it was so irritating. It's like, how many times do I have to do DNC over and over again? We got more important things we could be doing, you know, and then, but then after he was gone, you know, this is the same thing. I kind of realized, like, his big thing was the foundation. And I didn't really understand until after he was gone how much that was actually lacking. You know, we had a sergeant major who I thought was just an arrogant prick. You know, and I didn't have a lot of direct one-on-one with him. But the times that I did, everything that he said to me was to build me. And, you know, I had this outside perception of who he was, but when I had an actual one-on-one, you know, he didn't sugarcoat anything, but everything that he said was true, and it was to build me. And I don't believe that he ever looked down on me, right? But he expected stuff. And I didn't fully appreciate that until he was gone. You know, so moral of the story in that aspect is that, you know, I feel like that's something that a lot of people could benefit from, but it's also something that I've let myself forget, you know, and that's on me. I got to be better about that. You know what I mean? I mean, what good is learning the lesson if I'm not going to apply it? And I know this is lengthy. If you're still here, great. Thanks. Like I said, I'm just getting shit off my chest, man. But it is. It's fucking hard, man. And the worst part about it is I'm no better than anybody else when it comes to keeping in touch, keeping that community. I'm definitely not any better than anybody else. If anything, I'm probably worse. You know, and I got a lot of love for people, man. I really do. And I want to help, you know. But I don't know that at the moment I am. So I think I'm gonna take a step back, you know what I mean? Because I guess it's that age old thing, like you can't help anybody else till you've helped yourself type thing. And for the last fucking 4 years I've been trying to work on myself, and I guess I still got a lot to go there, but you know, I just hope everybody's okay, man. I hope that you're in a good place. And yeah, fucking. I feel probably at this point I'm probably just rambling, but yeah, I really don't care. You know, it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. If anybody knows what it is, by the way, please fucking let me know. Because again, like, it's not that I don't try. It's not that people don't try. You know, and I don't know if anybody else has kind of had this this vibe or this feeling. But it's like it's almost like people don't know how to approach me either. And I don't know if that's something that I'm a vibe that I'm giving off or what. You know, so I almost feel like we start off on a awkward foot, you know what I mean? And I don't know, who knows. But it definitely plays a role, man. It definitely plays a role. You know. Yeah, I think about this neighborhood that I live in. I love it. I do. I think it's a great neighborhood. There's a lot of good people out here, man. But it amazes me how many people just stick to themselves. And I'm not talking on like a personal level, right? Like, yeah, but you should keep your personal stuff indoors, right? But I'm just saying in general, like, the camaraderie, it must be camaraderie. Camaraderie must be it. You know, because that shit, I don't feel like that shit exists out here. You know, maybe it's just where I'm at. Maybe it's just me. You know, maybe I'm the fucking problem in the whole goddamn thing, right? Like, I'm out here thinking there's some extra, or you know, some extra piece of the puzzle, but I'm the fucking one that doesn't fit to the damn board or whatever, you know? Like, I'm the one that's shaped like this rather than like this or whatever, you know what I mean? Who knows? Fuck, I don't know, man. But I hope everybody's alright. I hope y'all are good. And you know, I don't know if I've said this enough, but if y'all ever want to reach out, please feel free. Reach out. Fuck, I'll be honest, I don't do shit anyways. So he ain't gonna be bothering me if that's what you're worried about. Hope y'all are good, man. You stuck around this long, thank you. I don't know if I said anything worth fucking hearing, but thank you.